Hello crafters, welcome to Sculpting Sunday. Today we are going to be turning this lump of air dry clay into Clefairy from Pokémon. And I was inspired by this wood burning one that I made a week or two ago. And I want to turn this into something like that, but 3D model. I've always been a fan of Pokemon, so I wanted to put my hand into trying something new. And I do hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and if you do, maybe you could consider hitting that like button for me. I really do appreciate it. Alright, so the first step that we are going to do here is make a little base, which is probably the easiest part. Now, for this base on this, I kind of want it to be like rocky, because, and I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera there, I want it to be rocky because Clefairy, I believe, originates from the moon. And I kind of want it to be like that. And maybe put like an indentation kind of like so. It's like a moon crater. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Although maybe that would look more like a nest. But if I flatten it out, so it is a base, and it looks more like that. I think that's a good call to do something like this. And then next stage here, we're going to make, let's see, we'll start with the body. Always start with the biggest shape first to kind of get the idea. Yeah, a little bit smaller. Hack off a little bit there. Of course, we are going to roll her up into more of like a ball shape. So it looks more like this. And she's kind of like an egg, as you can see, like that. Getting pretty close. And it's going to be a little bit smaller than what I have for the shape over there, but that's the start here. We're going to do the legs. I feel like are going to be a little bit smaller. We just kind of need the general nubs, maybe a little bit more for each of these. Okay, and then we're going to kind of shape them into balls too, but not fully, so they're more like oblongated. I'm just kind of eyeballing it for right now, and I will add a little bit more later. And then we're going to break this into the ears, because the ears are about the same size as the legs. So these are the general shapes of said ears. That's where we're going from. Basically, I want to try to get this done in like 30 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes. That's typically how long it takes for me to make a sculpture like this. And then it takes about a day or two for it to dry. Well, at least probably 2 days in all honesty. Once it's dry, we can do paints and actually make it look nice. And these are going to be the arms, and they're kind of long like that as well. And here's the next parts. For this, we are going to do a toothpick, and I'm actually going to need another one. So I like to break up toothpicks because they make really good foundations. Oh, and I dropped one. But let's go ahead and break another one because these are going to be for the arms and these are for the legs. What we're going to do, get them attached. Actually, I could have probably gone, you know what? I think I'll go full toothpick for the legs and half toothpick for the arms. We can shove it like this and it can go all the way through, and trying to keep that general egg shape. And I could put layers on this over it. I didn't make the tail or the hair yet because I kind of want to get the general before I actually make those. And I want them about even. So these are going to go deeper into there. We want more like that. And we can just pull it a little bit so that way it comes all the way through. There will be a small air gap in there, but it'll probably get filled at some point. So we do need a little bit of space. I might have put a little bit more on the legs, but there's a reason why, because I want to attach the legs, and I'm going to need a little bit of clay from that. And the best way to do that is grab one of my tools. I actually got a handful of tools that I do use, but one of my favorites for this case, and I do need to wet it with some water. That's what the cup is for. We don't want a lot of water, but it does need a little bit. So this, I don't know what it's called, the tool anyway, but it is very good for this job, and it blends seams pretty much seamlessly. And over time, it makes the clay smooth. It's a silicone tool, but I don't know exactly what the name is. And I do need a little bit more water. I don't want to get it too wet because it makes it harder and harder to mold the more water there is. You may have seen that on some of my videos because I have accidentally done that before while I was still learning the process. One of the big things about air dry clay is it can have a tendency to crack as it dries, but there's an easy fix for that. I haven't shown it in any of my videos, but what you can do when it cracks is just add a little bit of water to the seam. Like even after it's dry, you can do it. And then once you've added that water, you can pretty much redo the seam that crack. Like a little bit of water, a little bit of clay. So I do have a limited amount of time. I mean, I can always add water later to this. So if I need to take a break, I can, but I prefer not to. I mean, 3D shapes are kind of hard like this sometimes because you're drawing off of a 2D shape and you're trying to bring it into a 3D shape. But more egg-like, but not too robust and round. So I think I have most of what I was intending to do. We're going to, and it's storming out. I don't know if you can hear that either, but it is storming pretty bad right now. Now, the tail is going to be a hard part, so I might need to actually look at a better reference image because I'm not 100% sure what it looks like. But I do know the general shape of Elvis's hair, obviously. Generally speaking, Elvis's hair is going to curl like so. And we do need to take care of this seam a little bit. And I want to get that seam cleaned up before we actually put it on. We do need to kind of get the general of the head too, because she only has like a unified body, which is the most interesting Pokemon type. It just has like just a straight. And I feel like I need more clay for the ears, and I'm not liking how some of this is set up. She's got like huge ears, but more curved on the top. And I'm just going for the general shape. It's fine to add clay like this to itself. So I made one incredibly large compared to the other, but let's just kind of see what it looks like. So we need to, I think I want the smaller version, not as big as this one. I, again, am just eyeballing perspective here and how these things look. I am not a skilled artist, but I'm definitely learning how to attempt to be one. There are a lot of other people out here on the internet that definitely know more about art than me, but I do wish to be a artist, although I don't know exactly what would define a great artist. I don't think anyone really truly does, but we all know it when we see it. It's hard to deny great art. I think to make things simpler for the ear, I'm overcomplicating it. I'm gonna curve it in on itself because based on what I'm seeing, it could be like hollow to some extent. It's kind of about right. I need it to be a little bit stubbier and wider at the base, and you're probably about to hear some thunder. So I'm liking how this ear is turning out. We need the other one to look just like it, but you know, inversed. I just do my best to try to explain at least what I'm doing here. I feel like that's of value to someone, I hope. And I hope this is inspiring. Maybe someone will make some good art out of this. Maybe even better than mine, I hope. I am just, I feel like I'm just a simple novice. We are almost right where I want it to be. So I need something that bends, and we're gonna use a paper clip. You've probably seen me do this before, but it's a very simple thing. I need something that is a little bit curvy to match the curve of the ear, so it's not just a straight stick. Because I feel like, well, actually it doesn't, you know what, I'm overthinking it. I think I was right, actually, the first time. It doesn't actually curve. I was thinking it curves, but I'm just used to other kinds of ears. I just need it shorter, is what I need. That's the problem that I'm having. Okay, so we just do an inner ear check. I'm gonna bump the camera. I had it right. I was just overthinking it. Okay, so we need blend it in and straighten up all of the mess that we have made with the rest of the ear. And it needs to be pointier, like so. Straighter on the edge. And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty if you ever try this on your own, because you will get dirty. You're gonna get clay everywhere. But you can always wash your hands, and the great thing about air dry clay, you see all this mess on this tape here? This is just packaging tape that I have over cardboard. All of the air dry clay that's left there, you can literally just wipe away with a paper towel. It's pretty convenient. Now, ordinarily, I have been trying to do like time-lapse footage, but I feel like I could be a little bit more entertaining. And I think I'm probably going overboard on the ears here, size-wise. But, you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. Because that's what art is. Sometimes you make a mistake. But, I mean, well, is it really a mistake? I mean, Bob Ross always said, you don't really make mistakes, you make happy little accidents. This might turn out okay, actually. I just need to blend that in. We're going to use the tried and true finger method of just blending. Now, for the other ear, which one of these is probably going to get cut off. I just realized it may look a little bit bigger, and oh, we got a little bit of a power fluctuation showing up on camera. This rainstorm is worse than I thought. I did not think we were going to get power interruptions. Huh. Okay. You know what? We're just going to roll with it, and, you know, it's going to be fine. You know, I should start saying that at the start of my videos is these are going to be long videos, and just grab a snack and enjoy. Maybe watch while you're doing laundry or something, or cleaning your house. Just while I do random art projects. I don't really have a lot of rhyme or reason on which ones I decide to do, honestly. I just feel like I wanted to make this today. Wasn't even honestly feeling like making anything today, but you know what? I decided I want to make a little bit of a project, and here we are. Okay, so this is going to be the front, I feel like. And yes, I can tell the difference. Wider at the base, pointy there. And put some mark there, so we gotta blend that off. Again, it's hard to make a mistake with this because you can always just fix it later. It's the nice thing about air dry clay. Early on, I felt like I shouldn't try to fix my mistakes, but I'm definitely learning better ways to fix them. Been doing this for a little over a year now, and I basically started from scratch with like no knowledge of how to actually sculpt this. Originally, I was doing wood carving videos, but hey, there's the thunder! I told you it was gonna happen. Although I don't know why I'm excited about thunder, but yeah, I was originally doing wood carving videos. The reason why I don't do those too often anymore is because they do take a really long time, and I just don't really have a lot of time to do them, so. And I enjoy this a little bit more, in all honesty. So I'm gonna do that last. Let's build the arms. What I should have done for the arms, to make it simpler, because she's got claws, I'm gonna give her some claws and cut these. Don't worry about the toothpicks, I have plenty of toothpicks. So I need 6. Whoops. That one I will grab later. I don't know where it went. Okay. Alright, so I have 6 now, and that's going to be good enough. Basics of the arm, and actually, I could do a little bit of a twist, but I actually don't need the metal yet. We're just going to do it this way. Get you there. And I think Clefairy's attack is like metronome or something like that. It has been a while since I've played the games. I used to be very obsessed with these games. That rain is coming down. We're going to put her claws. Actually, it's easier if I don't hold it. And we're bedding the claws deeper. I think that's hail, actually. Yeah, we might be getting some hail. I may not even need to put music over this part because of the rain. I try to keep music in the background. It's just like entertaining. But I don't think we'll need it this time. Close enough. One is a little bit longer than the others, but I will fix it. We just need to blend. We're probably already approaching the 30-minute mark, or pretty close to it. Okay, so we want this arm to be longer to match. And I forgot, I need to add like the fairy wings. I never see Clefairy from the back too often, but I was looking at a reference image and I'm now seeing that. This is different. This is more for like doing drawings, but I've also found that it can help with blending seams because the other one can kind of stick sometimes. This helps smooth it out. And you can kind of see that actually right there. It's blending. And if you've made it this far in the video, if this part stays in the video anyway, and if I'm still saying this to you, please do hit that like button. It really does help out. And the subscribe button as well if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. Alright, so we need to do a size appropriate here. I have too much clay in my hands, so I need to work this down to a smaller tail and size appropriate. We're going to need about this much. And yes, again, I'm just eyeballing a lot of this. Okay, so Clefairy, interestingly enough, for whatever reason, and I would like more of a, has a underpinning tail, like it's, the curve goes like underneath. It's a swirly, but it's like in the opposite, because most goes like this, but she goes like this for whatever reason. For this, I do want to attach it with a toothpick, but before I attach and go crazy on that, we do need to smooth it out. And the other thing about the paints, I know there's a lot of cracks here, but the paints will also cover up some of this, the cracks as well. Let's see. And we do have an issue on one side. It wasn't quite matching, so I had to, I guess I had removed it by accident. There. We are okay to attach. Alright, so blend, but for the tail, it's not like too blended. It just needs the general. I do want to at least chip into a little bit of the skin here, because if it's not fully attached, it could break off, which I could always reattach, but I do need a little bit of a air dry clay to do that. And I think they've helped quite a bit, as you can see the Clefairy over there that I showed you at the beginning anyway. And you probably may have even seen the video for that one, because I will be uploading that one before this, possibly even a week before. Because the Sunday that I have from my perspective that will probably go up before this one is one with Totoro in it. I do try to get these videos out done like a week or two in advance. We can blend in the hair now. For the hair, I'm not putting in a stick because it's not really needed. And you can see, like, there's a lot of clay clinging to this silicone tool. Some of it's even probably from really old builds. But as it's getting wet, it's reattaching itself. And I suppose for the hair, I could give it like a texture. Yeah, I think for the hair, I want to give it a texture and not leave it smooth. I'm not going to do it with any of the other parts because I do want it to be a little bit smooth. But the hair piece, I do kind of want it to be more like hair. Okay, so fairy wings are last here. And we're going to do as simple as possible for this. We're going to make a general butterfly shape. And here's the issue that I'm running into. You can see it cracking. That means this part is dry. So I'm going to add a little bit of water, not too much. but it has dried out slightly in the time that I've been filming. All right, so just a general, trying to get the general butterfly shape for wings. Not as easy as I thought it would be. Now we needed to, I see what I did wrong. That should fix it a little, but we needed more of a, and for this, we are going to attach it, but we're going to attach it in a little bit of a different way. Too thick, we need this. This goes like this. We are using the metal, actually, this time. And we will have to get it as close as possible. So we are in. Now we need to blend basics. And then may have been a reference to a song, possibly. This one is a little bit more challenging than I initially thought. Ooh, we split it. Okay. I don't want it to come off too much more than... This is what I'm talking about. It's, you can run into issues with air dry clay, but if you mold it back in, you can pretty much fix any issues that you run into. And if I've done this correctly, this is probably going to be the last tool I use, because I just need it to make the face. And this is what I will be using to make the face. We are leaning too far forward. That is fine. If I'm wrong about Clefairy being moon origin related, someone please let me know, but I do vaguely remember something from that, one of the Pokemon episodes with the giant nerd. And the storm outside is calming down. The eyes are very simple. The mouth is very simple. We're going to do the mouth first, and I might actually just add in some eyes. But the mouth, we do need to cut. I do kind of want it to be a little bit 3D. Okay, so there's your mouth. These videos, this new style of video editing is something new to me, and the last one took me like 2 hours to edit. We have eyes, and what we're gonna do here, simple, is get it wet. We're putting here, oh my god, the line of the eye just looks so funny. Do I want to believe, you know what? Let's see how that looks. I'm leaving those in there. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, and blushes. But we do want it that 3D general shape. Yeah, I think I got what I wanted, because it's kind of there. Alright, well, we'll go on to the next stage. Let this dry for a couple of days and paint. Alright, so we are going to move on. It's been a while since the drying process for Clefairy, and we're going to start painting. I'm just going to start with the simple base, and right now I'm just going to use a lighter gray, and this is just going to form the base layer for the platform, which is kind of a moon inspiration. So I do want to go in and shade in some areas with the darker gray color later on. And I do paint the bottoms as well as the tops, just so that way it's fully complete. I know like no one's ever going to see the bottom, but I always do like just to have it, just because I know that it's there, and it would bother me a lot if I didn't complete it. Depending on when this goes up, the recent news was that there might be life on Mars, which, I mean, that's been like a few things here and there have come up that have indicated there could be life on Mars, but I mean, it's technically we're talking about Mars, but obviously, you know, Clefairy could be from the moon, but, you know, still in space. But they recently found potential fossil evidence with a rock that appears to have some very interesting chemistry, because it has some spots that and chemicals that were formed in a very specific way that would potentially indicate life. Not necessarily like full-on evidence yet, because we would have to actually study it more in depth. The Curiosity rover, I believe is what it's called, would not have the facilities to fully test everything, unfortunately. And that's what we need the Mars sample return mission for, to test that. Alright, now I just gotta glob it on. And you can kind of see the cracking forming underneath the legs. But you can cover it up with the paint a little bit, but then you can also spray on a little bit of water and brush it over. In this case, I'm just going to use paint because the cracking is not so bad that it warrants getting it wet again. And then I'll just let it dry, this layer dry, before I do any other painting. Oh, there's more cracking on the leg back here than I realized. I did not see that. Yeah, okay, that I'm going to have to fix. So I will, probably not going to do it on camera, but I will have to put a little bit of water over that. That is a much worse crack than I thought. I didn't actually see it. It's kind of embarrassing, but I will have to fix it. It won't be too hard to fix, but I will fix that. Alright, so we are going to do the next layer of paint here, and this is just going to be pink. Well, it's actually Cosmos. It's the exact color. And I felt like it was fitting for for Clefairy, because she is a space-related Pokemon. Oh, and I realized in the clip earlier, I'd mentioned the signs of life on Mars, and I think I said it was the Curiosity rover, but it actually was the Perseverance rover that found it, with a rock that was like a couple of years old. Well, I mean, it had found the rock a year ago, but it took a while for scientists to investigate a little bit further, to rule out some possibilities, to actually determine whether or not there's a possibility that it is life. And as it turns out, it is a very high probability. Now, obviously, the only way to fully guarantee if it's life or not is to bring it back here to Earth, or have someone go there to Mars and actually studying it more in depth. This is the strongest evidence that we have ever found so far as to whether or not there's life out there. I feel like the chances are anywhere there is a strong chance that life can arise, likely we'll find life. And we're going all in for every single spot to give her a nice solid coat to make it as even as possible. There's probably gonna have to be several layers here. Oh, and I just realized I never even mentioned the fact that I fixed the cracks, which you can't even tell anymore. Add a couple of pieces of clay over them, and I fixed them. I do find the research that they're doing on Mars very fascinating. I do hope that we can learn more. Not just about Mars, but our own planet, and how things have progressed, how we got here. And a lot of the research does help with advances in technology and things here on Earth. And we gotta paint her Elvis hair. That she has Elvis hair, and Jigglypuff does too. These two are always, I feel like, probably confused for each other the most. But I do hope that you guys are enjoying my new style of videos. Before, I used to just kind of listen to stuff in the background, maybe watch a movie while I painted and while I sculpted. But you know, now I'm just talking to you guys and rambling, I feel like. You know, maybe I feel like that's better. It is more enjoyable, I honestly feel like, because I feel like I'm actually doing something for someone anyway, rather than just making it for myself. I mean, I do enjoy making this stuff for myself as well. I've always enjoyed being artistic and creating different things. But, you know, it kind of feels nice to, you know, make things for other people too. And I'm just trying to smooth over some of the stuff here. I'm gonna need another day or so for this to dry. I'm hoping I can get this finished and edited in time for this Saturday. It'll be interesting. But I also do have the 500 subscriber special going up at the same time, around the same time as this. So, but anyway, I will catch you guys in the next clip then. Okay, so now we move on to more details. And right now we're going to be painting the cheeks here. And we're going with a pink color. I'm actually using a finer tip here for this because I don't want to wash over the Cosmo color for the rest of the body. And I know the colors look a little bit dull at the moment, but once I put the sealer on, they will be a little bit shinier, so everything will look through. And then you'll be catching me in a little bit once I do the mouth, which is going to be a different color. I want it to be a little bit darker. I was thinking fuchsia. Finish the cheeks, and now we're going to do the mouth, which I'm going with a fuchsia color, just to get a little bit of a darker pink, so that way it actually matches. It gets the correct color here. And I will probably have to go over a few places with the Cosmo color, so I'm not so worried about the edges here. But we just needed to get the mouth done. And the pink for the cheeks is not actually done drying, but because I don't need to worry so much about getting it on, because I'm just painting this one little spot, I just figured I'd get that done today. And then next we're going to be doing the eyes, I think. Alright, catch you guys once this is done with that. Now we're going to start with the black, and I think for this we're going to do just a black line, because it's not the full, it's just like the tip of the ears that is black. And in this case it's okay if I go a little bit over, because we will be coming back with the pink. Well, the Cosmos is the color there. And we're just gonna do a line as straight as we possibly can, but I may just cut that part out and get you guys on to the next stage, because I will have to do a lot of adjusting, and I need more black on the back to match with the front. And I don't think I'll show painting the other ear. I just want to get this one done. See, I want to slowly expand it out, have the right amount anyway. Got that, and I will do the other one, but first I want to do the black eyes for this segment. And there's going to be shading of whites and blues for these eyes as well. So it's all covered in. It's going to look creepy with the black for now. She's going to look possessed until I get the shading done with everything else. But with any luck, I will have this up this weekend. But we are pretty much done on this section. So I'm going to do a little bit of shading underneath here, just on the top of the ear, just to give it a little bit of a shadow. And we're going with a darker gray. I just mixed black and white with a little bit more black. A feel for it, because the reference image has like darkness inside the ears, which is not black, it's more, I feel like it's more shadow, which I think this is what I want. Now next here is I want to do a darker gray in some places on the base, so that's why I made the extra. I figured I could accomplish take out two birds with one stone here. And I'm not really gonna have like any specific design in mind here. I'm just going to blotch things out just so that the rock is more miscolored, just so it has more of an interesting design rather than just having it one solid gray. And it also helps cover up some of the pink splotches that are now there. I know no one's going to ever see the bottom except me. I do want a little bit of a different style as far as that goes, and it'd be kind of interesting in my honest opinion. And it also clears out some of the whiteness, white blotches that are on the bottom as well. And then I may go over with the lighter gray again, just to blend it completely. But I think I'm gonna cut this clip here and you'll see me again later. So I got everything painted, and there's a little bit of clay bits that are clinging to it, but I should brush this off. But what we're gonna do is paint the eyes here, give them a little bit of whiteness near the top, and we're gonna blend that with a little bit of black and blue later, I think, as well. That way they kind of shine. Yeah, there we go. I like that. And I'm gonna paint the claws white too. I'm not gonna be able to do a lot of commentary for these parts because this is where I really focus in the details. Alright, I'm gonna work on getting this all colored in. Catch you guys in a few minutes. We are now on the last part here, which is I just want to get a little bit of a blue. But it does take a little bit of experimentation sometimes to get the colors just right to the way that you want them. Alright, just a little bit more. And I don't know how much of that was on camera because I think I got my film readjusted. But I just need to blend a little bit of the eye. And then there we go. So I'm going to do a little bit more painting off screen here because there's a lot of detail work. But you guys will catch me when I do the final sealer. For the last step here, we're just going to put on a simple sealer, which in this case is just glue. And we're just going to spread it generously and coat it. Now this is just glue mixed with water. It acts as a pretty good sealer. I've put it on all of my projects thus far, and seems to last quite a long time. So that's why I'm using it. Pretty cheap. And now you don't want it to clump too much because it will dry like solid. So you don't want it to be like clumpy, but you do want it to be everywhere. But once this typically dries in like a day. But once this is done, you'll see the final results. It'll shine. We'll cut the rest from here, and you will shortly see the finished product. Well, everything is now fully dried and set in, and I would say this was a really good project. Clefairy came out really well done, and I rather enjoyed this one. I think the design worked out pretty well here. And I do hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video, and I really do appreciate your support. And if you have, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out with the algorithm and everything. And if you also do want to help support me out a little bit more, I have written a book, and the link is in the description below, along with all of the supplies that I've used to make this as well. And you can use the Amazon affiliate links. But thank you guys for watching, and I do hope that you have enjoyed. And as always, hope you have a wonderful day.